The best things about coming home: iced tea, preferably brewed in the sun by Mom, listening to thunder from the front porch, sleeping underneath a quilt, fresh air. This is totally underrated. Walking down the hill to get the newspaper, nightly games of gin rummy with Dad, getting woken up by the rooster. I've never understood why people hate this. Watching the bees. JJ, obviously. The country unfurls like a flower as I wind my way towards home. It's the end of July, the last crest of summer before we turn the corner into fall. Boxes are piled high in the back seat. There's an almost full bag of bagels next to me, the one thing Dad requests from the city. Carnation is small enough that we don't have a good bagel place nearby, and I'd bet my life savings he'll pretend to be shocked there's only 10 instead of the 12 that he ordered. I'm whizzing by rolling hills of fertile green farmland, putting the city in my rearview mirror so fast that I'm unprepared when I cruise right past the Welcome to Carnation sign, a gust of fresh air carrying the smell of apple blossoms and hay into my car. I take a breath so deep I press on the brakes out of reflex. The Welcome to Carnation sign is the highest point in the hills that circle around the town's borders, and you can see all the way down into the slight dip of land that makes something akin to a valley, where the rolling farmland evens out in a low spot right where Main Street sits. Houses are sprinkled in the surrounding area, mine included, and I roll down the windows all the way, letting the farm breeze settle over me, calming my nerves. I haven't been home since Christmas. Haven't seen my parents since they were in Seattle briefly for my graduation a couple months ago. I spent the summer with my two best friends, Evan and Shari, working in an agricultural lab and volunteering at a kids' summer camp where we spent our days washing sticky hands and mulching baby pine trees under the tagline of teaching the next generation how to farm. Usually, I'm practically salivating at the promise of a freshly baked blackberry cobbler when I return home, but this time I feel a pit of dread in my stomach instead of the familiar sense of comfort. But then again, I've never lied to my parents like this before. I turn onto our gravel drive and pass through a break in the wooden fence that surrounds our property, rolling underneath the Anderson family apple farm archway. I come to a stop at the top of the driveway, right in front of the garage. As I get out, my gaze falls on the hill that looms behind our 1900s farmhouse, the hill that marks the start of the Parkers' property. I've known our next-door neighbors, the Parkers, since I was little. Their daughters, both older than me, have moved away, leaving their parents to run the apple farm on their own. After a bad harvest last year, they are one season away from going bankrupt. The whole town knows it. I've spent all year trying to figure out how to save my family's farm from the same fate, and buying out the Parkers might just be the solution. We could use the extra land to switch to regenerative agriculture, which is better for the planet and our wallets. It's a feasible plan, but it requires a little sacrifice. I had to turn down a job offer for an up-and-coming agricultural research lab and spend my summer working on the loan application to buy the Parkers out. The last thing I have left to do is tell my parents. As if on cue, Mom steps out onto the front porch, waving frantically. "I thought I heard the car." She beams. Our front door swings closed behind her, the lion door knocker that's older than the house itself clanging. She hurries down the front porch steps towards me, her arms outstretched for a hug. I do my best to ignore the guilt tugging at my conscience from keeping something so big from her. But I can't tell her about the plan until the Parkers declare bankruptcy. Mom and Dad live by small-town ethics, and going behind your neighbor's back to buy their land before they're trying to sell is definitely not in the code of conduct. I take in a deep breath, smelling grassy meadows with just a hint of sweetness from Mom's signature honeysuckle perfume. "I missed you, Mom," I murmur into her shoulder. "I missed you too, sweetie," she replies. A swallow swoops overhead, the perfect accent to the dusky evening sky as I lug my first round of stuff out of the car. In sync, like usual, Mom and I unload, falling back into an easy rhythm. For a moment, I feel how I always feel when I get back to Carnation, like I've stepped back in time. In my room, everything is exactly as I left it. Evening light spills through the tulip motif on the stained glass window, dancing across the old wood floor. Dust motes puff up into the air, shifting in the rays as I plunk my box of books onto the floor. The first thing I unpack is a picture of Evan, Shari, and me on our last day of class. Evan had just gotten frosted tips reminiscent of 90s boy bands, and they're sticking out from beneath his graduation cap. Shari is laughing, her arms spread wide around the two of us. I miss them already. I put the picture next to the one I have of JJ, mid-stride, prancing across our back pasture.